Greetings and felicitations, everyone. I'm Felix.
And I am Fab Fox, and welcome back to the Low Blows and Oh Woes, the show where furries talk about wrestling because that makes so much sense.
On today's episode, we are doing the... Ooh, we just got ourselves a follower.
Well, hello, and thank you.
In the form of Luna Kitty. Thank you so much for the follow. Right out of the gate.
Thank you very much for the follow, Luna Kitty.
Anyway, so this week we are doing Extreme Rules 2020 predictions, or I'm sorry, it's the horror show at Extreme Rules 2020. Yeah.
Right, don't get me wrong. I am a big fan of horror. Recently, I have been, binging just about every single video that the YouTube channel Dead Meat has, because they're big in the horror film community.
Mm-hmm.
So, on paper, this concept seems really cool, but like they haven't. I don't think they've sold it to its full potential.
Plus, they already technically have a horror themed show in the form of Hell in a Cell. Why not just do it there?
Yeah, I mean, if Hell in a Cell even survives after what happened last year.
Yep. Luna Kitty says, "You're very welcome, and it's always nice to meet furries who love wrestling like me." Awesome. So anyway, before we get into that, how have you been? It's been a while since we've done one of these.
Yeah, I know. It's been going pretty well. Just kind of spending a lot of time working and watching wrestling as it comes on throughout the week. These past 3 weeks on Wednesday nights have been really great. I immensely enjoyed Fyter Fest. And I probably enjoyed Fight for the Fallen even more, honestly, if I had to pick between the two special editions of Dynamite. I'd say Fight for the Fallen was my favorite of the two.
Oh, yeah. And I've also enjoyed both those, all of those, and we also have our first double champion in NXT in the form of the Limitless One, Keith Lee.
Yeah, I was very happy to hear that, and although I didn't get to see the match just because I was watching AEW,
yeah, same here.
I felt that Keith Lee was the right choice to make the first double champion because first of all, Keith Lee is fucking phenomenal, and B, making the first double champion a black man is very great. It's kind of one of those making history things, so I thought it was very much the right choice.
Oh yeah. And in terms of, and this week was an interesting week for me because I started my wrestling training officially.
That's right, you did. And go ahead, tell everyone how that was.
Okay, so I'm based out of North Carolina, so my training is done in Charlotte. So, yep. Oh, the nature boy. But the first week was me basically working the ropes. Yeah. Woo! The first week was me working the ropes, and as my trainer pointed out, there's a certain way you have to grab the ropes. You can't have the index finger out. You have to keep all the fingers together, because that'll give you a better grip.
Mm-hmm.
Also, jumped over one of the. It's basically one guy's ducking down and I'm jumping over them.
Like a leapfrog?
Not a leapfrog, but a duck down or something.
Oh, okay.
Then I was on the ducking down part. That was the one that really threw me off. Let me see if I can find an example of that. Wrestling training. Oh, drop down. Or
okay.
I think it's called.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right, let's switch over to this screen share mode that I set up.
Hey.
Do you see us? Luna Kitty asks, "Do you see yourself as being a heel or a face?" When the time comes, we'll see. I guess. All right.
Honestly, I feel like being heel is a lot more fun.
It's easier to make people hate you as opposed to make people like you.
Yeah, for sure.
So after this freaking ad. Okay.
AdSense.
All right. Leapfrog, duck down.
So that was basically your training for that class.
Yeah, what this guy did. Let me show you. All right. Not the leapfrog, but
the drop to the mat.
Yep, drop to the mat.
How did that feel? Did you kind of get the hang of it by the end of it?
Somewhat. It was very. I'm not gonna lie. Part of me, like, by the end of it, I got really. I almost got a bit nauseous.
It's a lot of motion for sure.
Oh yeah, a lot of motion than what I'm used to, but I'm sure I'll get used to it in time.
Oh yeah. Already.
We usually do like this usual training regimen is like 3 days a week, but due to the whole COVID thing, we're only doing once a week.
Yeah, that's probably the safest option for sure. While you're at the same time getting your education.
Yeah, and no more than 10 people can be in the ring at once.
Mm-hmm.
That's the max. And
already.
Sorry to go off on a tangent there, but
I mean, it's exciting. That's something that you should talk about.
Yeah. So let's get into the predictions now, shall we?
Well, first of all, let's talk about the overall concept of Extreme Rules, because first of all, the name at first was just Extreme Rules Horror Show, which, okay, cool, that's fine. But them changing it to the Horror Show at Extreme Rules, that doesn't flow as well.
No.
Especially when you pair that with the commentators constantly trying to bash that over your face, because they can't just say Extreme Rules. They have to say the entire fucking name every damn time. It's just like, at the greatest wrestling match ever. Blah, oh my god.
The Horror Show at Extreme Rules at AOL.com at www.gofuckyourself.net.
It's so much. See, the concept in of itself is fine, but I feel Extreme Rules Horror Show would have been a better name.
Agreed.
But the concept in itself is interesting, and there's definitely a lot of room for creativity there, which we'll get into some of the stuff that they've laid out there. Although there is one thing I kind of wish that they would have done.
What?
With this. So I wish they would have had a match themed around like Freddy versus Jason.
Maybe that'll be the Braun Strowman Bray Wyatt match.
Maybe, but like just have one of the competitors dressed up like Freddy Krueger, and then the other one dressed up like Jason Voorhees, and just like the movie. I thought that would be fun.
By the way, according to the website I'm on, the title match between Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt is non-title. Or rather,
yeah,
it's just a Wyatt swamp fight. No, the title's not even going to be up for grabs.
That's interesting, especially since they were fighting for it. What was it, at Money in the Bank?
Yes.
Yeah, that's weird.
I mean, you'd think SmackDown's top champion would defend his title at the pay-per-view, but no, that's not the case.
And if we're going to go for the predictions here, I think because of the fact that they aren't putting the title on the line, I think Bray Wyatt's going to end up winning. So
I think so as well.
Braun Strowman will still be champion, but he's going to lose.
I think so as well.
At least I hope so. They don't need to have Bray Wyatt losing this. Not after him losing so strangely at Money in the Bank.
But at least it wasn't the Fiend that lost.
That's true. They're protecting the Fiend, which is good. And I do like the addition that they've brought back Wyatt family Bray for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So they're kind of getting all sides of him.
It's kind of like how Matt Hardy is doing all sides of like Broken Matt in AEW. Except partially done just as good, though I think AEW's is a little more entertaining.
Yeah, Matt Hardy he's much like Bray Wyatt is. He's very genius when it comes to his character work. He gives it 110% to whatever he's doing, and like during the stadium stampede when they were dunking him in that pool that apparently had like the lake of
reincarnation.
The water in it. So every time they would dunk him and pull him up, it'd be a different version of him.
Yeah, but so we're both saying Bray Wyatt for the Wyatt Swamp fight?
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we're going to go into Apollo Crews versus Montel Vontanius Porter, MVP, for the United States Championship.
See, this is interesting, because, I would want to pull for Apollo, because, he just won the championship not, maybe a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say it'd be a little bit too early for him to lose it. But at the same time, with the angle that MVP has been going, building up this little stable of his and managing Bobby Lashley and even him revealing the new design for the belt, I feel like they might give him the belt.
I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. I mean, I could definitely see MVP with one more run with the belt. As he was an interesting champion when he was U.S. champion in his first run at WWE.
Yeah. I don't want to definitively. I don't know who to predict though, because I would say that making MVP the champion has more opportunity for story beyond this match. Because if Apollo wins again, then that means he's beaten MVP for the belt twice. So where would they go from there?
That is very true. I'm probably going to say I wouldn't be surprised if they put the belt on MVP, but I also want Apollo to stay the champion for those same reasons. Oh, this is hard.
Something's telling me that MVP is going to win, but Apollo is going to take it back a little bit further down the line, just so they can stretch out the story a little bit more.
So you're going to say MVP?
Yeah.
I'm going to say Apollo.
Okay. Yeah. It's really hard. They've played out this story really well. I will definitely give them that. And the Hurt Business, I think that's what they call themselves. It's definitely one of the most interesting things that have been on WWE TV in recent times.
I agree. Next,
it's been very refreshing seeing Bobby Lashley in something like that, as opposed to what he went through with fucking Leo Rush and Lana.
I'm man, Bobby. He's my man. Poor Leo. All right, so you're saying MVP. I'm saying Apollo.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next up, we have Jeff Hardy versus Sheamus in a bar fight.
Oh, I completely forgot about that. That's not even up on WWE's website that I've pulled up. They don't have Jeff Hardy's match on there. This one, I will quit if Jeff Hardy loses this match. Him losing at what was the last one?
The greatest match ever. Backlash.
Yeah. Backlash, yeah. Him losing at Backlash, I saw coming from a mile away.
Yeah.
But this one, especially since it's got the big goofy stipulation, it's going to be one of the big cinematic matches. Like, especially, this entire storyline has been incredibly uncomfortable, and I would like it to end yesterday. So I'm praying that Jeff Hardy wins, and I think he will.
Same. I'm also going Jeff Hardy. It's a no-brainer. Just so they could fucking end it. End it already.
Please. I mean, they could continue it. I mean, Roman Reigns versus Baron Corbin lasted for 5 fucking months. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, that entire storyline, like, if Jeff was good with doing it, then great. But
even still, that's pushing it.
Yep. Luna Kitty. Yeah, the whole angle is very distasteful. Exactly. Like, I've never been comfortable with WWE using people's real life problems for storylines. It's even worse, like, if they use someone's like death, which they do all the fucking time.
Yep. Like,
what was it? After Jim Neidhart passed, like, it wasn't 2 weeks before they turned into a storyline between Natalya and the Riot Squad. So bad. It's so bad.
And let's not forget when Dean turned on Rollins the night Roman announced he was leaving to deal with leukemia.
Yeah. It's not everything horrible in real life has to be turned into wrestling fucking storylines. It does not need to happen. So yes, Jeff Hardy, please kick Sheamus' ass. Vince McMahon,
go fuck yourself.
Please end this storyline.
Yeah.
Go on to something better.
It's either Vince doing it or Bruce Pritchard. I have no idea.
I would say Vince because it had the whole piss angle, and that's a Vince thing.
It's such good S-word. Such good shit. Next up is Bayley versus Nikki Cross for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Owen Hart's, let's see, Luna Kitty is still by far the worst death of all time, and wish he was still alive to this. Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. That episode of Dark Side of the Ring was really powerful and hard hitting.
It even made Jim Cornette made me feel upset too, and fucking Jim Cornette. God damn.
Coming from him, that's hard.
Yeah. Say what you will about the man, but he
drove it home.
He drove it home. He's still one of the best talkers. But anyway.
So, Bayley versus Nikki Cross. I honestly, because I think SummerSlam is the next pay-per-view after Extreme Rules in August.
I feel like the turn is coming on this show, either from Bayley or from Sasha.
I do too. Yeah. So I feel like, because here's the thing, Bayley and Sasha are like, this match is going to happen at SummerSlam because this is going to be the one where they want the big draw matches.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish they could have built, I wish they could have done the turn at Backlash so they could have like a couple months to build up to this big feud. But what I'm wondering is it sparked by Bayley losing the title to Nikki Cross, or is it sparked by Sasha losing her match against Asuka?
I have a few theories, and that'll come into my answers. So I'm going to say Nikki Cross retains.
Or wins the match?
Wins the match, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm going to say both women lose their matches, but we'll stick to one match for prediction. So I'm going to say Nikki Cross becomes the champion.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, like, having Nikki Cross as the champion would be really unorthodox, but I definitely would not hate it. Mm-hmm. Like, I really like Nikki Cross, and I think that she deserves that title.
I agree.
But at the same time, Bayley as champion is great and has been, ever since she won it.
And it would be good fodder between her and Sasha Banks when the turn happens.
Exactly. So So that's making me wonder, like, is their match at SummerSlam? Of course, this is kind of this is all speculation as of right now. But is Sasha versus Bayley at SummerSlam gonna be for the SmackDown Women's Championship, or are they both gonna be titleless? Lose their tag team belts somewhere in between, and it's just gonna be like a big grudge blow off match with no title on the line.
Hard to tell, or at least for me, anyway.
Yeah. I'm kind of feeling like the latter. Or no, the former.
You're gonna go for Bayley?
Yeah, I feel like Bayley is gonna retain, but she is somehow going to cause Sasha to lose to Asuka, which in turn will prompt them to have a big match at SummerSlam, Bayley versus Sasha for the SmackDown title.
That's clever.
I mean, that's how I would write it. It's but it's kind of up to WWE creative at this point.
That is true, but here's the thing: they're both still the tag champs.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, in between them, so here's what I'm feeling: if Bayley accidentally cost Sasha her match with Asuka, and I feel like next week, either on Raw or maybe on Raw, they'll probably defend the championships against probably the Iconics. They'll drop them to the Iconics, and then that'll be the big blowover.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I guess since we're talking about Sasha versus Asuka, we can go into that one.
Yep. So you're saying Bayley, and I'm saying Nikki.
Uh-huh.
All right.
And if Nikki does win, I will be very happy for that, because I believe Nikki would be a great champion.
Yes. Sorry, that was a bag. That was a bag of M&Ms.
Ooh, M&Ms sound fire right now.
They were the brownie ones.
Oh my god, those are so good. I need to get some. Yep. Okay, so Asuka versus Sasha Banks for the Raw Women's title.
I'm going to say Asuka retains.
I'm going to say Asuka too, just because I feel like she needs to have better programs. The one with Nia Jax wasn't great. The one with Charlotte was okay,
but it still made Charlotte look stronger than Asuka.
Exactly. Yeah, we really need a feud that can make Asuka look super strong. And now that Shayna Baszler is back in the picture,
fucking finally,
I know. And also, at the same time,
Bianca Belair.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Now that she's come back from the ether. But, I don't know. They're probably going to have a thing with the Iconics for a little bit. Her and Ruby Riott.
Yep.
I don't know.
I mean, but at this point, why bring back Liv Morgan, since Bianca Belair just beat both of them,
Yeah, exactly.
Beat both of the Iconics, yeah. But we're both... I think it's going to be a really good match between Asuka and Sasha, but we're both saying Asuka.
Mm-hmm, for sure. It's definitely going to be a great match. I think it has the potential to be the match of the night, because, Asuka and Sasha have had matches before, and they've always been really great.
What they should have done, I personally think, is since they both have submission finishers, they should have made this a submission match.
That would have been really cool.
But unfortunately, that's not what we got.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Drew McIntyre versus Dolph Ziggler for the WWE Championship.
Now, this... I don't know how I feel about this program, just because it was so out of the blue.
It kind of is. I mean, in context, it kind of makes sense, since Drew and Ziggler did work together when Drew re-debuted on the main roster, but they should have done this last year or some shit at the very earliest. It feels to mention 2 years too late.
Like, this is the second WWE title shot that Dolph has had in 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And if honestly, and this is no diss against Kofi Kingston, because I loved him as champion, but if Dolph couldn't take it from Kofi Kingston, someone who actually is Dolph size, then what makes him think that he could take it from Drew McIntyre, who is like head and shoulders taller than he is and about twice as strong?
Probably. But then again, sometimes size doesn't matter.
That's true. But I think Drew is going to take this.
Same here.
Mm-hmm. If anybody is going to end up taking the title off of Drew McIntyre, it'll probably end up being Randy Orton.
That's a definite possibility, and Randy has had a pretty good story going for him, which surprisingly the unsanctioned match between Orton and the Big Show is not on the card. You'd think with a match like
weird.
it, which I think that's a big mistake. It should have been on the card.
It definitely should have been. Having it on Raw instead of Extreme Rules is an odd choice. Which means like Randy Orton doesn't have a slot on this card, which is strange.
I do have a feeling we're gonna get some like 24/7 title shenanigans on the card.
2 Tozawas.
Yep. And last but not least is the oddest match out of the bunch. Rey Mysterio versus Seth Rollins, eye for an eye match.
You know something? Wrestling has been on TV for a long time. Like probably going on over 40 years at this point. So you think in all of that time, you would have seen every match stipulation under the rainbow. And then we get to the year 2020, and the match stipulation is literally go in there and rip your opponent's eye out of their face. And that's how you win.
I swear. Vince, what the fuck are you doing?
That's almost like some Vince Russo kind of shit.
I mean, and WWE has been getting a lot of Vince Russo era ratings as of late. I mean, Raw just hit its lowest rating with like 1.5 million viewers. That's pretty fucking low.
Yeah. But for real, like, don't get me wrong, it fits the whole horror show vibe. But that's way too much. I'm here to watch wrestling, not fucking Mortal Kombat. Though admittedly Mortal Kombat can be pretty hilarious.
I feel like I'm watching a B slasher film or something.
And like how is that gonna even happen? Like, are they gonna have to find like surgical tools? Is Seth Rollins just gonna reach into Rey Mysterio's face and just pull it out with his bare hands?
I mean, it's definitely. I definitely think it's going to be one of their. Well, obviously, it's going to be one of their more cinematic matches, but.
Yeah, so it's going to be a fake eye.
Yeah, but I have no idea. I have no idea where this could go. Honestly, I think it might. I think Rey might get the win, but what's the point?
Yeah, Rey getting the win would make sense. Because he already has had his eye practically taken out of his face. But at the same time, Rey isn't under contract anymore. So
he's not.
If he doesn't want to stay with WWE, then, writing him off of TV by him physically having his eye dug out of his socket is a pretty intense way to make sure that he doesn't come back for a while.
Uh-huh.
And at the same time, that'll also give Dominic a shot to make his official debut into the company, because he's been a pretty big role in this as well.
That's true. So, are we both saying Rey Mysterio?
I think Seth Rollins is winning this match.
Oh, you're saying Seth Rollins winning?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Seth Rollins is gonna win, and Rey Mysterio, that'll be the catalyst of them writing Rey off of TV.
I'm actually going to say Rey Mysterio's winning, but
that's definitely plausible, because that would be the end of the big story with him getting redemption and yada yada yada. But they've never really given Rey Mysterio his due that he deserves, so why would they start now?
That is true.
he was supposed to have a Universal title shot against Seth Rollins. I still have not forgotten that, and they still have not done that.
Nope.
So, exactly. God. But yeah, I honestly can't tell if I am looking forward to this match or if I want to avoid this match, just because it's either going to be very hyper realistic or it's going to be incredibly cheesy.
Or all of the above.
Yeah. So, plus Ray's working without a contract. Exactly.
Yep.
So, and there isn't any news that he's re-signed with WWE, so he might just say deuces and let Dominic have his run.
Yeah.
But I honestly, I feel like there just isn't enough on the card. If any one of these matches will end up on the pre-show, it's going to be Apollo Crews and MVP.
Most likely. Unfairly, but I guess.
Yeah.
Unless they drop in like a tag team match out of the blue.
Yeah, possibly New Day versus Cesaro and Nakamura. Or they could throw in fucking Lacey Evans and Naomi.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
That karaoke shit was just awful.
I'm all good. I'm all down for a karaoke contest. I can get down with karaoke. My biggest thing is that this
tag team. What are those?
Right? My biggest thing about that whole angle is that was how they turned Lacey Evans heel. After spending all those months building her up to be like this American hero and this really great role model, and them doing a really good job of it, in my opinion. I was really pulling for Lacey Evans the entire
Renji, thank
time.
you so much for the follow. Very much appreciated.
So I was really pulling for Lacey Evans because, she had a really great character. She was fighting for all the right reasons. And she goes heel because she's salty about losing a fucking karaoke contest.
The women's roster on Raw is doing fantastic. What the hell is SmackDown doing?
I don't know. And it's really upsetting because Lacey Evans is one of my favorites, even as her first initial run as a heel, just because, that was just her inherent character ever since she joined, to her really great face turn. She's a great wrestler. She's good on the mic. She's good with character. But this is how they turned her heel. And I can't get over it.
Mm-mm.
I cannot. Brown down.
Yeah. So that's all of the horror show at Extreme Rules at AOL.com at www.gofuckyourself.net. Predictions in a nutshell.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be a horrible show. I sure hope not. I sure hope it's not a horrible show. Because the matches that they've got, if they do it right, and WWE has been doing their cinematic matches really well, so
yeah,
I feel like they could be pretty good.
Renji 2022-1. I'm eating after watching the last 3 weeks of AEW. It's kind of telling with how AEW books tag team wrestling and WWE. Yeah, pretty much.
I really appreciate how much AEW values tag team wrestling.
The only thing AEW really needs to work on is their women's roster. In terms of booking, anyway.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're kind of back into a corner because, like as they said last night at Fight for the Fallen, 4 out of their 5 top ranked stars are literally out because of injury. So
I didn't hear that. My mistake.
Well, as of right now, I don't think they're all out with injury. I think got at least 2 of them, Chris Statlander and Britt Baker, out with injury, and then you've got Riho stuck in Japan,
right?
As well. I don't know who else, but Shida's the champion. And
Yuka Sakazaki.
Yeah, Yuka Sakazaki is in Japan. So Shida and Nyla and Penelope Ford, those are the big 3 names in the roster right now. So that's almost all they got to work with.
Looks like they're going to be trying to build up Diamante, which is kind of cool. Mm-hmm.
And they so I thought it was interesting that they're having two women that technically aren't signed to the company. They have Diamante and Ivelisse having a match on Dynamite next week.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to wonder if they're signing one or both of them.
That's true.
I would enjoy seeing Diamante there.
Oh yeah. They need more women.
Yeah, they signed Abaddon recently, but I'm waiting to see her back on TV again.
Oh yeah, she's scary, but she's awesome.
She's so cool. And what happened with Anna Jay? Like the Dark Order took her, and then she like disappeared.
I think they're still trying to work with that. They're still trying to work on that. I'm not sure. They could do something with Allie instead of sticking her with Brandy. Yeah, I thought they originally stuck her with the Butcher and the Blade.
They did. They had her with Butcher and Blade, and then they had her doing something with QT Marshall, but then QT Marshall got injured.
I thought he got sick.
Injured or sick. He's had to go away for a while, which is why they've had to change up things and stick with Brandy for a little bit.
Yeah.
But once QT Marshall is back, that story is going to really take off.
Hopefully. But so I know you were speaking about horror stuff earlier. I've been watching a lot of Decker Shadow horror reviews, and one of my favorite horror movies of all time is called The Howling from 1981. Yep. It's a werewolf film.
It sounds like a werewolf film.
Yep, and it's definitely one of definitely one of the more interesting of the werewolf films. Like the second film to like really the more beastly, gnarly werewolf look, and they do the whole transformation scene, and it's fucking disturbing as hell. Let's see. I'm actually gonna look it up real quick. Howling.
See, like my favorite horror movie, I consider it a horror movie, but I don't know how many other people would consider it a horror movie. But it's my favorite horror movie and also my favorite movie in general.
What is it?
And it's Coraline.
The Tim Burton animated film?
Henry Selick, but yeah.
Henry Selick, thank you.
Yeah, I absolutely adore Coraline. And you know what? It is very much horrifying. So I would say that it's a horror movie. But that's my opinion.
I want to see how... What Renji says, I want to see how AEW strikes a deal with Impact. I want more stuff with Rosemary and Allie.
That'd be interesting.
Do they have a working relationship between the two?
I don't think as of yet. He's saying that he would want to see them strike a deal with Impact. Which that would be really interesting, because Impact has a lot of great talent.
Mm-hmm.
They've got Rosemary, they've got Sue Young, they've got Ace Austin and Moose, Sami Callihan.
Yep.
all their wrestling styles fit AEW's aesthetic really well.
Yep. So
Kylie Ray, yeah, which is interesting because Kylie Ray was in AEW.
Yeah, but I'm not entirely sure what. I'm not entirely sure why she left too. So
I don't really remember if there was anything specific that was said.
I don't really think there was any animosity, but let's see.
When everything is changing.
Oh, shut up! Frickin' ads. I'm turning on a screen share. Like this guy right here. Just the transformation itself. I'm muting it for copyright.
Yeah.
Like he's pulling a bullet. Like I think he's pulling a silver bullet out of his head. Just like, look at the makeup effects. Yeah.
That's pretty gnarly. It reminds me of the Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone when they took the Polyjuice potion. That's the Chamber of Secrets. Just kidding.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
and this woman here is like, I'm just like, why don't you get out of there, you moron?
It's because she's blonde and she's a horror movie.
Also, this face. Look at that.
God, 80s acting is so bad. Oh god.
That whole
The contacts are pretty cool though.
Oh yeah. Stretching of the.
I'm sure this is someone's fetish.
Well, of course it is.
Oh man.
Just look at that. Look at that face. Look at that gnarly face.
Whoa. That's some pretty top-notch makeup, though.
Oh yeah, definitely. This is from 1981. The other werewolf movie to have really, really awesome effects at the time. Of course, American Werewolf in London.
Yeah, that one. Mm-hmm. I've seen that one.
Though this one is my personal favorite.
Well, that's about it for our. I swear to God, I almost said backlash. For our Extreme Rules, the horror show, Extreme Rules 2020. Here's hoping the show is not total garbage. Fortunately, Backlash was not total garbage, so I'm hoping.
I thought it was just meh, very meh.
It was decent. Edge versus Randy Orton was very good.
Yeah.
But nothing on this card is really like grabbing at me.
Mm-mm.
Save for the stuff that's going on between Bayley and Sasha. I'm looking forward to that.
Exactly.
I'm reluctantly looking forward to Ray versus Seth, just because it's the stipulation is too out there and icky sounding to not want to pay attention to.
Yeah.
I have to see if it's true, if it's meant to be believed.
Mm-hmm.
So, any of you viewers out there that are watching, I hope y'all enjoy the show too. Good luck to you, Felix, in your predictions. Most of our predictions were the same.
Yeah,
but
and good luck to you.
Thank you. We'll see who wins, and who ends up being the LBOWO champion after that.
Yeah,
I totally made that up on the fly, but I don't remember which one of us won the Backlash predictions.
I don't remember either. And and every time we try to upload that episode,
it fucks up.
Yeah.
At this point, I've given up. So what? The first 5 minutes can stay on YouTube. It's not an episode that's like super special to begin with. It's just us chatting.
We'll just upload every episode to like a proper streaming service like Apple or Spotify or both.
Yeah, something like that. Alrighty, that's all we have time for today. Until next time, I am Fab Fox.
And I'm Felix.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.